Open space is fabulous because, particularly for a group like this, a bunch of really bright people, they don't need to be told what to do. They're just dying to make things happen and to create. So a lot of ways the process allows us to step back and get out of the way. And they declare topics, they meet, they find folks who have allies, they get excited, they create things, they make commitments to do stuff, a process that allows participation to kind of break out all over. And that's what makes it so fun to be in and to source. Open Space is about 20 years old. It was created by a gentleman named Harrison Owen, and he was a conference organizer who spent a year of his life organizing an extraordinary conference. And at the end, he did a retrospective like you all did, and all the evaluations came back, and people said, you know what, we loved those coffee breaks where we get to just talk to each other. And he's like, wait, I spent all my time on the other stuff. So they asked him to do it again, and the next year, partly out of spite and partly out of creativity, he said, well, we'll organize it the next year, but it's going to be all coffee breaks. So in a sense, that's what open space is. You take the best part of a conference and you just make that the whole thing. And the other thing about open space that is joy with this particular group, I don't know that I've ever led it in a group that is dedicated to self-organizing teams, to self-organization. So this is a beautiful form that mirrors the essence of what you do in Agile. And I hope you find that to be true in your experience of it today. Now, you can do more than one session if you like. You do not have to be the expert. You can be the person who knows least but wants to know the most. And you can gather a group. If folks find you that have that interest, then a spark flies. So that's the bulletin board. There are 4 principles and 1 law in open space. Whoever comes are the right people. That's certainly true today. I'm always inspired by that Margaret Mead quotation. Never doubt the ability of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that does. So you can be that small group, even with just 2 of you. A lot of people go through their life in organizations or in teams feeling alone. And they shouldn't. They don't need to, because there's a commonality that's right in front of them, but there's no way to name it. So the technique allows people to name it, and they come out quite empowered and excited about making that future happen. We notice the present moment, and we take the next step. And we let the rest go. And there's a beautiful release and liberation in that. So whatever happens is the only thing that could have. Whenever it starts is the right time. Guess what? Something started, and it's the right time. So go with that. Notice that connection, that energy, and follow it. If you're not learning or contributing, wherever you are, whenever, throughout the day, you should get up, use your 2 feet, and go someplace where you can learn or contribute. So what that means is the responsibility for your learning and getting value out of today is totally on your own shoulders. And where else would you want it to be anyway, right? So that's the law of 2 feet. And it's a beautiful thing to see. So as you have people noticing energy and following sparks and things starting and things stopping and people getting up and moving on and learning and contribute, we have a little ecosystem. And what starts to show up are 2 phenomena we call the bumblebee and the butterflies. There are some folks who look at all the topics that are going to be up there soon and they say, I want to go to them all. And they come in late, they leave early, and if you're a convener, don't be mad at them. They're not, just being flighty. They're being a bumblebee. They're cross-pollinating ideas. Take something from them, bless them and release them, let them come and go. They're part of the ecosystem. Similarly, there are people who look at all the things that go up on here, and they say, oh my God, this is day 3, this is exhausting. I'm just going to go find a chair and sit and look at the river. That's what I need to do. So what are butterflies? They do nothing, they're beautiful. So you may feel like, okay, I'm going to do nothing and be beautiful, but watch out. People love beauty, so we may come up to you when you're a butterfly, and guess what? There may be some energy or some connection. If there is something started, pay attention to it. So be open to bumblebees and butterflies. Now, the folks who are going to be brave and bold enough to come up in a moment and take a piece of paper and write out their topics, you do have some responsibilities. And you can ask for help for them. First, you convene the discussion at the time and the place that you agree. You should facilitate that discussion or delegate that to someone who feels comfortable doing it. We also want you to document it. Two ways that happens. There's going to be paper and markers, so you can just do running notes. But at the end of it, we have this sheet of paper. It looks like this. Here's a big picture version of it. It says session name, conveners, participants, takeaways. And we want you to just, at the end, almost like a little mini retrospective, what are 3 to 5 key insights, takeaways, ahas from your conversation? I like to visualize things for the groups that I work with because I find that people can process information through the eyes really quickly, and it allows them to allows me to keep up with them and let them know that they've been heard. So I'll capture their thinking and visualize it, and then we can build on it. And I use post-it notes and sticky notes and things like that because people like to change their mind and they like to find affinities between different ideas. So having the information, it's very low tech, but it really works, on things that you can move around allows the themes to emerge. And I'm not limited by the fact that I've written it down and it's stuck. And our topic is what are the issues and opportunities in using agile games to transform the relationship between work, play, and productivity. Folks who would like to be a convener, now would be your time. Come on up, find some paper, find some markers, and let's start the idea flow, start the marketplace.
I'd like to talk about future perspectives, so the art of shaping your future and how you can envision the future, potentially using games to do that.
Excellent. Thank you. A little acknowledgement for Glenn being the first one here. Everybody, come on, come on. Yes.
My name is Willem Larson, and I'm running a session on accelerated learning in the agile environment. Also, wherever you see me, there's a wear your keys game going on, so you're welcome to come up anytime. And anybody who has a language other than English who'd like to see a language hunt demo, I'd love to hunt your language. It'd be great. Thanks.
Excellent.
Hi, my name is Dave Kuntz. I'd like to talk about what are the necessary and sufficient engineering practices to support the Agile 12 principles. So I have a workshop I've done, and it turns out different every time, but I would like to know what Agile games people think are the engineering practices that support the Agile 12 principles.
Great. Thank you.
Come out here on the floor. Let's rock some more. Come out here on the floor. Honey, let's rock some more, yeah. Now when you get out here, don't you have no fear. Put your hands on your hip and let your backbone slip and work out.
We're pretty much on time, whatever that means in open space. What's going to happen next is you can get up and go and see the topics that have been slotted into round 1. There's a map over here, and there are signs at all the locations. So if you so choose, find your way to a new home. Conveners, be ready for whatever happens next. The breaks will happen naturally, and we will gather again as a community at 3:30.
Work, baby, work out. Honey, work out. Work, baby, work out. Baby, work out. Baby, shout and turn the joint out. Work, baby, work out. Work out. Work out. Work out. Work out. Work all night long. Yeah. Round and around and around and around. Round and around and around and around. Round and around and around and around. Round and around and around and around.
Here's my invitation as part of the closing circle. I view this as an opportunity for the whole, meaning the entire assembled community today, to reflect together, kind of as one mind. It's not really a great time to do reports on your sessions because if somebody really cared, they would have gone, right? So we're not going to just report, but it's an opportunity for us to reflect. So, someone like to share a reflection?
I'll talk about what inspired me, and I'll say it's the diversity and depth of this conference for people here. It surprised me from last year how much it's grown.
I love the rich language that we're developing. I love the tools that we're sharing with each other.
Agile successful, we need to teach learning and teaching.
The amount of learning that went on in these 3 days. I'm just going to have to go home and sleep.
Not quite.
So I was inspired by the energy and the passion and the diversity that was brought here for these 3 days. I was particularly moved probably during my coaching dojo session to see like the energy form these little groups and to see people within like 90 minutes improve their skills dramatically and the level of commitment.
I want to speak about what inspired me. When I went to a session, I was clear that the person leading that session was really trying to make a difference for us and for me, and I just felt that commitment from them. And the other thing I felt was that everybody that was in the room was trying to do the same thing. Like there was this, everyone was leaning forward into the game, looking at where the game could be improved, and I don't think I've ever been in a group of people all sitting on the edge of their chairs for 3 days like that. So you inspired me.